season's gone so far, and talk about Saturday's game.
All right. Well, thank you for having me today, and appreciate everybody coming. So, yeah, like Todd said, we're 5-3-4 right now, 1-1 in the league, and just like everybody else, dealing with some injuries, but we'll get through it and move on and move forward with it. So, we got a big game with Furman this weekend at home. It's always a tight game and big rivalry for us and them, and like Todd said, we are going to have a remembrance of Baba and memorial for his game, for his passing in April, and so hopefully there'll be a lot of people there to recognize that and be there right after football wins. So that would be great. So that's it.
Coach, what's it mean to have this memorial? I know it's a tough time. I mean, something you never want to see someone go through, especially at a young age, but just what's it mean to have this first inaugural come this weekend?
Baba was a special person, a very inspirational, always had a smile on his face, very, very positive person. And fortunately, obviously, I've gotten to get to know the family quite a bit because his older brother played for us and his younger brother is on our team at the current time. So I've got a deep connection to their family, and he has a deep connection to this program. And I think our guys and our team have handled it very well, if you could even use that as a word. I'm sure everybody goes through their own little moments. But I think, again, we want to use him as an inspiration rather than motivation. So whether we win, lose, or draw on Saturday, you know, it's about recognizing him and remembering him and, you know, just talking all the positive things about him.
And when something like this happens in a program, I know athletics at the end of the day is just a game, right? It goes beyond that. How important is it for you to hone in on that to your guys? Like, hey, at the end of the day, yeah, working hard and everything's great, but there's still more to life than just what is out on there on the field.
Well, I think anybody that's involved in college athletics, it's more, we're all competitive. We all want to win. There's no question about it. But we're also trying to set these guys up and young gals to set themselves up for the rest of their lives. So there are very important things out there and lessons that they learn every day. And unfortunately, tragedy is going to hit all of us at some point in our lives, maybe more than once. Unfortunately, it hit us in our program. And I think you try to use those as learning moments. And again, you're not telling people how to react or how to deal with it. You're just trying to help them navigate a path, you know, moving forward.
How have you been able to keep your program at such a consistent level? Because there's constant change, rosters and this and that, but every year you're competitive out there, your team's always competing for a championship. How have you been able to do that?
I think I'm going to use a word that I think is probably used more often than anybody, but it's culture. It's team culture. It's Mercer University athletics culture, Mercer University alone. But culture for me, and we talk about it a lot, is what I and the coaching staff and the players are willing to allow to get away with. If you're not allowed to get away with that cup right there when you leave to throw away, and if I don't say anything to our players, that little thing will lead to a big thing out on the field or in the classroom or off the field, things like that. So I think we've done a good job with our staff understanding that we're not going to allow little details to get away from us. But once we allow little details to get away from us, then a big detail gets away from us. And then that's when you start going downhill, in my opinion. Of course, you got to work hard every day. You got to, you know, watch tape and train and all that type of stuff. But I think it's just constantly harping, I guess is a bad word, but constantly talking about those little details all the time.
Coach, talk about your senior class this year, and I know you have some guys that came back for a fifth year, and what that has meant to the success of your team so far this year.
Yeah, I think anytime you have older guys and experienced guys that have been in big games, I don't think it's just experience of playing games, but in big games. So obviously, like a guy like Dylan Gaither has played in 2 or 3 NCAA tournaments and finals and championships and been tournament MVP. That's a huge thing that you just can't, you know, not recognize. a guy like an Angel Gonzalez and Liam Cox said same thing with those guys. They've been here a long time, and they know what that feeling is, but they also know the feeling of the final of last year and losing it. And that may be just as important as winning them as well. And then obviously we had a grad transfer in Omar Hernandez, who played at Wake Forest, probably one of the top 10 programs in college soccer. So obviously he's played in important games as well from that standpoint. So I think those guys have done a good job. We just need to get Omar and Dylan back on the field at the moment right now.
Talk a little bit about what you got coming up and the goals that you set for the season. How realistic and are those still very much in place?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the goal is always to, compete for the regular season championship, and then when you get in the conference tournament, win it, and then get in the NCAA tournament. And I think we're at a point in our program, to be candid with you, not just getting into the NCAA tournament. I mean, of course that's great, but we want to advance. We want to find a way to advance. We've been there 4 times. We've lost all 4 games by a goal. And we've been close, but we just need to kind of knock that door down. And we are. Yes, we took a loss this past weekend at Wofford, and it wasn't our best, but it wasn't our worst. And we are 1-1. We only play 5 league games, so we've got 3 left. And everything, just like I told the team after the game, everything that they want to achieve is still out there, attainable to go get. We're just going to have to work a little extra harder and get back to work. And fortunately for us, we don't have a midweek game this week, so we can train a lot and try to get back on track.
What are some things that you've learned about your team as the season goes on that you maybe didn't know about in the preseason?
They're resilient. Not that I wouldn't think that they would be, but I think the first 9 games of our season, 8 of them were on the road. And a lot of people probably looked at me like, you're crazy. I didn't mean to do that. It just happened to be that way. And then when you look at it, I think we went to Utah, went to Wisconsin, Illinois, South Carolina, Florida. We were everywhere. And maybe the travel's kind of caught up to us a little bit, but we're not going to use it as an excuse. I haven't even brought it up once. And in that time, I think we were like 4-1-4 in those games and 3-0-4 on the road, in true road games. So I just believe in going out on the road and playing big teams and competing and things like that and forcing them, because at some point, maybe in the conference tournament or in the NCAA tournament, you're going to have to go on the road and get results. And I don't want them to be fearful of that, which I don't think we ever are fearful of it. So, but we'll be resilient. We'll come back. I think we'll have a very good performance on Saturday. I'm pretty confident of that, and looking forward to it.